For 25 years, Wincourt Nursing Home has been run by the Mattinson family. The pandemic may have brought about their most challenging period, but manager Sue fears the worst is yet to come as she faces having to let go of her unvaccinated staff.
Last May, we were clapping for our carers. Now we're sacking them. Not once have they shirked the duties when we did have COVID in the home. They stepped forward. They have been amazing. It's a kick in the teeth.
In June, the government announced plans for all care home staff to be double vaccinated, and so began a 16-week grace period. But the deadline for staff to be given their first jab is next week, ahead of the regulations coming into force in November. For the managers here, it means they could be forced to say goodbye to some much valued and experienced staff members.
I've got 70 staff at present. Up to last week we had 8 unvaccinated. We're now down to 7 unvaccinated, so I'm up to 90%. I am still pleading with them to have the vaccine. But I feel if the NHS aren't doing it, why are we having to do it? I can let in a paramedic, I can let in a GP unvaccinated, I can let a family member in unvaccinated. So why? Why is it down to just the staff?
Among those facing the sack is Laura, who's worked at the home for the last 8 years. During the pandemic, she treated residents who'd contracted COVID.
I'm fit, I'm healthy, I've had COVID and I feel like I've got my own antibodies now. So I don't feel personally I should be coerced and forced into having a vaccine.
There'll be people watching this at home, they might have loved ones in a nursing home themselves, and they'll be saying, why don't you just get the vaccine, if not only to protect yourself, but to offer that extra protection for some of the most vulnerable people, the residents here?
Yeah, I do have a duty of care, but the home has brilliant PPE. We wear masks, we wear aprons, we wear gloves, face shields, we have daily testing, PCR tests weekly, lateral flow tests daily. I think that's, that covers us enough.
Justina has worked here for 16 years and also faces the sack for refusing the vaccine.
We've had cases, of staff who has been fully vaccinated and they still contract the virus. They can still get infected, and obviously in the same time they can spread it. So there is no evidence that I'm posing more risk than any other person.
How will you feel when you're handed your notice next week?
I think it will be the worst day in my life, actually, when I get the notice.
The government say they're now planning to look at whether to extend this requirement to all health and social care settings, but say vaccines save lives, adding it's our responsibility to do everything we can to reduce the risk for vulnerable people. But for Sue and other managers like her, she now fears a staffing crisis.
There's 40,000 in the whole care sector that haven't been vaccinated. Who's going to look after these people?
Katie Walderman, BBC North West Tonight, Timperley.